You're not supposed to be up there. What are you doing up there, Tito? We don't get on people's vehicles, okay? Okay. We have a friend here looking at leveling our, where I'm going to have the greenhouse going. And so we finally got him over here, and that is what he's checking out. And hopefully in the next few weeks, it'll be leveled, and then Sean can start building my second greenhouse. Check out that little volunteer. Look at all this stuff in the garden. It's really doing so well. Beans are starting to climb. My cabbages are doing okay. I mean, this is caterpillar damage right here. I have the hoops up. I was waiting on the netting. I wanted to make sure I got the netting in the greenhouse done first in the high tunnel. Now that I have got all the plastic put in the tunnel, I can really kind of hodgepodge all the raised beds out here to try to make sure they get covered. Y'all, there's literally been like so many just broccoli plants I had to rip out just because grasshoppers had just like eaten them down to one stem. It was so disheartening, but that's okay. I'm not gonna meddle. I'm not gonna get upset on that one thing. I've got a lot of food growing out here. Also, look at that. I'm feeling so good about myself in this Greenstalk. All right, so a couple things. First of all, I have been reading all y'all's comments, and just so you know, the bagels were amazing. They were so good. Matter of fact, I've got some footage from that I'm gonna pop in here and just let you guys see. Good morning, friends. Hello, hello. If you can't tell by the smile on my face, I've eaten a lot of bagels today. It actually turned out so well. You know, anytime that you do something, or maybe just me, I'm kind of a perfectionist. I want to kind of do it right the first time and feel like I did it good. But when it comes to new recipes, and just like sourdough in particular, I have tried to give myself a lot of grace because it's such a learning curve. So there were a few notes I jotted down. However, I have been having delicious bagels all morning. So I'm going to show you guys. What I did wrong was I didn't make the hole big enough on the inside, and so what happened is they didn't kind of flatten out. They grew puffy, but by the time you cut it and you eat it, they taste amazing. I had that entire day I made those. I had 6 bagels. And 6 bagels in one day with all the cream cheese, and I am not even ashamed about it. So there's a little bagel update. Also, something else that is so exciting, and I really wanted Nathan in on this video, but he is talking with the guy. We have our friend Kenzie headed over here now because we leave really, really early in the morning for Virginia. But we just got home from the title company, and today we closed on our old farm. And it feels like, oh my goodness, it feels like such a relief. You know when you're like right in the you're on the home stretch, right? And it's just taking forever. That is very much so how we felt. Like, my goodness, we are ready to close this chapter. And we have officially closed this chapter, and we are just in this season for the long haul. And it feels so good, you guys. Nathan and I were just talking on the way to the title company too. It's just seemed like such a stressful season. And we're like, why were we so stressed out? You know, like, I just feel like we have just, there's really no other way to say it, but just stressed out. And we were like, well, we have been literally juggling 2 farms for the last several months, and that will stress anybody out, you know, honestly. And so Nathan went this week, got the last of our stuff that was outside. We signed the dotted line today, and man, just a weight has been lifted. It feels so good. And I cannot even tell you guys how flippin' thankful I am. I'm making my way into the cottage garden, which you might be asking why, because it's cray-cray in here right now, but I did want to show you guys something. Do you guys see all of these volunteer cosmos? I mean, these things, oh, they are everywhere. It is really pretty though. It's actually starting to sprinkle on me a little bit, but that's okay. I'm gonna hop over here and show you guys. There are banana spiders. That is the 4th banana spider I've seen. I'm gonna show you guys the zinnias. My zinnias are making like a comeback in the cottage garden. I mean, check that out. There's just so much new growth over here. I mean, look at that. So that has been pretty cool to see. You got an entire cottage garden that's just dying. And then you just got all these bright pops of like orange and yellow cosmos and all these beautiful zinnias. We do have a plan for the cottage garden. We actually just got a silage tarp that's getting sent to us from Bootstrap Farmer. It's like a 40 by 50. It's pretty big. A silage tarp is one of those things that's like, oh, I don't want to make an investment like this on a tarp, but it is one of those crucial assets that you need on a farm. So if you are preparing ground to lay a tunnel or do in-ground gardening, or you want to kill grass, or literally whatever that looks like, a silage tarp is so worth the investment. And so what we are doing, as soon as it gets in, I am just laying the silage tarp over the cottage garden, and I'm just killing it all, is what I'm going to do. Because right now, if I were to go in and weed those things, one, it just doesn't make sense. It's going to take me forever, and it's just not a good use of my time. If I just lay it over there and I kill all the grass and things like that, all the perennials are still under there, right? Like, they're still going to come back because they're deeply rooted and already established. And so I'm not worried about that. I obviously won't be putting them over like the thorny roses, because that would just tear up the plastic. But just to ensure that I can get all the grass dead before it dies in the winter, that's just kind of my plan right now. I will go and try to figure out a better plan for the cottage garden before the spring. But right now, this is what's taking my focus. You know, the tunnel, the raised bed garden, I actually prefer that. The cottage garden is very, very valuable. However, I knew that coming into this farm, that wasn't going to be the one thing that I was immediately like, oh, I'm going to tackle that cottage garden. It's going to be the first thing I do. So I knew that the cottage garden was kind of on the back burner, and the raised bed gardens is what have been kicking lately, and I'm actually really happy about it. So I'm going to take you guys down to the tunnel and show you guys something that just made my entire day. I went down here this morning and literally my heart smiled, and now I want your heart to smile too. Look at this beautiful high tunnel. We have all of our flowers over here. Oh, Lily, you're fine. All my brassicas look good. The tunnel just, oh, such a sigh of relief. That's actually not what I came to show you. What I came to show you is right down here. All right, you guys ready to see the beauty that's about to come upon you? Check out this dahlia. I mean, check out how huge this thing is. So a question I have been getting asked a lot is, why are these dahlias so big? My dahlias didn't get this big. This is a dinner plate variety dahlia, and they get that name because they are big. So there are specific varieties. This is the cafe listen to this southern girl try to say something. Cafe au lait. And I have also had a lot of feedback on, hey, these don't look like normal cafe au laits. They are, but they were under a lot of stress, and so somehow they don't look normal. And we think it's due to stress related. So this is not what a standard cafe au lait looks like, but they are big. I mean, look at that. Thing's just big as my face. I love the dinner plate varieties, but many of you guys are saying that you're getting little dahlias like this guy. And this is the type of dahlias that I grew from seed at the old farm. These were not seed dahlias. These were tuber dahlias, but it's just a different variety, and that's why they are like that. I mean, even this guy's pretty big over here. So what we're doing, I think I've mentioned this to you all before, we grew these out just for the purpose of saving tubers. We are going to up our dahlia production next year. And so what we'll do is around like November, I believe, take these out. And that's also when you're able to purchase new dahlias. It's typically like right now there's none available. And you'd have to wait and get them like mid-November when people have already dug up their dahlias and then they're just storing them. And so we would purchase them and then we would just plant them later. And so we are hoping to add a few more varieties. How many? We haven't settled on a number because I want to grow all the flowers and all the dahlias. But we are going to be adding some more dahlias. I don't know if they'll be in here or if we'll have them outside in the raised bed garden somewhere, or maybe both. I'm not sure. But these are stunning. You know how hard it's been not to come out here and just leave them be? I come out here and they bring me so much joy. They don't actually have a like fragrance. Or maybe I just can't smell them that well. It has been a crazy week, if I'm being totally honest. Things have been hectic, like things have just been crazy. And I came out here this morning and I saw this beauty just staring at me, and it made my whole day. And so I don't know who needs a little dahlia beauty in their life, but there you have it. It really is. You know, I know that when you grow flowers, it's totally different than growing vegetables. But that doesn't mean that it is any lesser of value or has any lesser purpose. And I think I found that. Like before, I was always in that production mode, right? Like I want to grow food for profit. I want to have high yields. And I thought that there was only value or fulfillment in that if I was doing that for vegetables. And what I have found is that there is value in growing flowers, even though I can't eat them. Like there is so much value. And so I know that that was a message that I really needed to hear, is that if you want to grow flowers because that's your heart's desire and you're feeling that pull, do it. And I gave myself the liberty and the freedom to not just grow vegetables, and it was the best thing I ever did for myself. Just, it gets me in such a good mood, you guys. If you're in a stressful work environment, or maybe things are a little hectic at home, or whatever that may look like, if you can grow a flower and come outside and it immediately makes you just forget the worries of the world, and you're just transported to a place where you're like, wow, God is good. Nature is beautiful. It's going to be okay. That's worth doing it. And that may look like growing vegetables for some of you, but that may also look like growing flowers. And if you're anything like me, you just like to have the best of both worlds. So you grow vegetables and flowers and the whole world's happy all the time. But really, the whole purpose of that little rant was to tell you guys, grow the flowers. Like, it's okay. Grow the flowers. If they make you happy, do it. Because these little things right here have just, like I said, they just brought me so much joy. I am honestly just so happy. A weight has been lifted closing on our house today. My tunnel is completely planted for the fall and the winter. My dahlias are as big as my face, and life is so happy. And I had some really good bagels this week. But I've got to get off here and finish packing because we leave in a few hours. But thank you guys for hanging out with me. I'll talk to you soon.